Hello, I'm Bill Lockwood. This is what I call writing for the Bible brand. And I have a partner in this, and that is Playing with the Cat is his name. That is his registered name. And he's really good about standing here while I carry on. So I wanted to look at a Bible passage. We looked at Genesis chapter 1 in a recent writing for the Bible brand episode. And I wanted to go back to Genesis 1 because it basically is so fundamental and foundational to an understanding of the world and to an understanding of mankind. Let's go back to Genesis 1. Not only God, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is 1 and 1, of course. But to 1 and 26. And God said, let us make man in our own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Note carefully that created in God's image is stated only of mankind. Only humanity is created in God's image. What exactly does that mean? Man has a moral sensitivity. That is, men have the ability to think in moral terms. Animals and plants and rocks and so forth obviously do not. Not only so, but man has free will. That is, he has the ability to choose one way, choose another way, go the right path or go the wrong path or go different paths. That's freedom of will. Man has rational capacity. He has the ability to think rationally, putting things together in thoughts, ideas. That's what it is to be created in God's image and to reflect upon the basic questions of life, and that is, where did I come from? And why am I here? And where am I going? Those are the basic issues of life. But only man is able to reflect upon those because only man has been created in God's image. Now I want you to notice one of the big wars going on in our world is between the Democrats on one hand, Republicans on the other. But it's very important to note something, and that is particularly on the Democratic side, many Republicans also perhaps, but those on the Democratic side, right in the platform of the Democratic Party has the entire agenda regarding climate change and to get rid of our carbon-based economy in the United States. But what we don't see, and there's a lot of statements we can look at that talk about that in the Democratic platform, but one of the important things that we need to see regarding that very thing is that lurking behind that scene is a different world view than the Bible. It really began by the publication of Al Gore's book called Earth in the Balance several years ago. And Al Gore, once, remember, you know, he was the vice president for Bill Clinton, and he's been going around the world, flying around, jetting around the world, lecturing people how they shouldn't fly on jets and that kind of thing. Al Gore says in his book, Earth in the Balance, very plainly, he says that when I look around the world, he says, I see God's image in every corner of the world, not just in man. I see the web of life and God's image in every tree, in every rock, in every mountain and free-flowing stream. And there's God's image also. Oh, okay. All right, let's stop and think about it. That's a different worldview. I'm asking this question. Number one, what gives man more value than the birds of the air? Jesus himself asked the question, are you not of much more value than they? According to Al Gore, no, you're not. Every bird, every animal, every tree, every river, every mountain has just as much value as you do as a person because everything has been created in God's image. That's what gives man his value. But everything's been created in God's image, so our Lord asked the question, are you not much more value than they, the birds? The answer, according to Al Gore and the Democrats, is no, you're not. You have no more value than animals. Now that is what is called it has given birth to, really, what is called a biocentric worldview. Well, what is a biocentric worldview? Lynn White was a historian at Berkeley, California. Boy, you know where he's going to go coming from Berkeley, don't you? And at Berkeley, he says, the problem with the United States and Western culture is Christianity. That's the problem. And what we need is to get rid of that worldview that man has a special place. And I'm paraphrasing what he had to say. Didn't memorize his statement, but that's exactly what the whole statement involved. And that is, the problem was that we accepted Christianity and the victory of Christianity over paganism many years ago. Now, he did make that statement pretty plain. What is that to say? He's basically going right back to Genesis and attacking it, saying, look here, Al Gore's right. Christianity and the Bible is wrong, because man, not only man is created in God's image. So we have the biocentric worldview that everything is of equal value. So what does that mean? As far as public policy that's now going on, people say, well, you're talking about politics. No, I'm talking about biblical worldview and how the worldview beneath has changed and has given rise to radical ideas of socialism and totalitarian government via the environmental movement, the Green Agenda. And so we have statements such as, and this man, I don't take to be one of their defenders, but he's simply explaining it for us, and that is Stephen Rockefeller at Middlebury College pointed out, he said, in a biocentric worldview, he says the first consideration is the environment, trees, grass, rocks, horses, all of that. That's the first consideration, and man is the last. Now that's basically what a biocentric worldview gets you. Oh, now you can see why the Democrat Party will also at the same time, they'll support abortion, the murdering of infants in the womb. You know why they put that in there? Because they don't believe people have any value. As a matter of fact, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the one who recently passed away, made a comment. She said that, and talking about Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood, the idea that we need to get rid of so many types of population, and Sanger was talking about the black population. Get rid of them by abortion. But what is wrong with that if the biocentric worldview is correct? Nothing at all. You see, people have to look behind the scenes to see what's actually taking place. So what has occurred in America is a shift in public policy because the concepts upon which they are founded have shifted as well. And God went on to say in Genesis 1:28, I want man to multiply and replenish the face of the earth, and he has, what's that word? Dominion over it. And he is to subdue, that is, subject the creation, and that is for his own use. That is anathema to the Green Agenda. But you know what? If someone is addicted to the Bible as I am, that's what I call writing for the Bible brand. That's Bible. That's New Testament Christianity founded upon a God-centered worldview.